Johnson made a surprise visit to Vietnam on October 26, 1966. He came on the heels of a summit in the Philippines on the future of Vietnam.
Malacanan Palace in Manila, site of the historic seven-nation summit meeting on Vietnam. Following 2 days of formal conferences, a joint communique is signed. The United States and its allies pledged to leave South Vietnam not later than 6 months after North Vietnam abandons its war operations and withdraws to the north. Two other important declarations stating goals for freedom, peace, and progress are also set down. Included are pledges by South Vietnam for economic, social, and political stabilization, including elections before next September. The meeting is formally adjourned by Chairman Ferdinand Marcos, Philippine President. Meanwhile, President Johnson plans an important visit. First, a brief tour of Corregidor, where the last 13,000 defenders surrendered to the Japanese on May 6, 1942. Almost a quarter of a century is rolled back. During this stop, Mr. Johnson's thoughts include past and present soldiers. A particularly moving moment occurs when the presidential party stops at one of the great defensive tunnels of World War II. Again, newsmen notice a certain hurried and anxious attitude on the part of the president and his aides. After this tour, the entire party returns to Manila. And exactly 1 hour and 40 minutes later, the presidential jet brings the chief executive and commander-in-chief to Cam Ranh Bay, South Vietnam. Speed and secrecy make the surprise trip a total success. Thousands of servicemen are hailed by the president and inspected as he tours the reception area in a jeep. It marks the first visit of an American president to a war zone since President Roosevelt went to North Africa in 1943. With the president is Ambassador Henry Cabot Lodge and Secretary of State Dean Rusk, South Vietnamese President Thieu and Premier Key, and Commanding General William Westmoreland. During his address to the troops, the president says, "I could not come to this part of the world and not come to see you. I give you my pledge. We shall never let you down." The president had remarked earlier that he had come to see the best prepared army, the most skilled army, the most compassionate army, and the best led army in the world. The troops reacted visibly. Another moving highlight of the president's 2-hour, 24-minute visit among his fighting men came when he presented battle decorations. The Distinguished Service Cross is awarded to 3 Army men: Lieutenant Colonel Paul Gorman of Virginia, Lieutenant Martin Hammer of Pennsylvania, and Sergeant Charles Morris of Virginia. A Silver Star is awarded to Air Force Captain John Nolan of Missouri, while the Navy Cross is awarded to Marine Sergeant Clovis Kaufman of Virginia. The president also decorated General Westmoreland with the Distinguished Service Medal. Later, Mr. Johnson dined with the troops, joked with them, autographed hats, and made it a day American fighting men will never forget.